Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Wednesday, January 22nd, 2020, and we are again in the final hour of the trading day. I do mention this each day, but I think it's worth repeating. I like to place the majority of my trades, my buying and selling decisions at the end of the day. And the reason that I say this is that during the day you have the algorithms, you have the day traders, they're battling it out. I just consider it a lot of noise during the middle of the day. At the end of the day, you have the large financial institutions coming in with size. They're the most well-informed. They move the price at the end of the day. No doubt about that. They move it, and I would prefer to make my buying and selling decisions on the coattails of the people with the most information and the most money at the end of the day. So that's why primarily I'm an end of day trader, which is nice because it allows you to have the day without having to sit in front of your computer and look at your screen all day and have all this screen time. So in my experience over the last 24 years, for me it's the absolute best approach. So anyway, I hope everyone's doing well out there. Thank you so much for coming by. It's always nice to see everyone. Appreciate you spending your time here. I hope you're learning something. I hope it's helping with your trading and your investing. Hey, Mount Doji, what's going on, my friend? Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Happy Wednesday to you. Thanks for coming by. Scatty13, greetings. Greetings to you as well. Thank you so much for coming by. I always appreciate it. It's always nice to see you. So, all right, well, the market is green across the board at the moment. It's been a bit of a volatile day. We were up, we were down, we came back up. Dow is up 29 points right now, up 0.10, 1.1%. NASDAQ's up 36 points, up 0.39%. NASDAQ, or the S&P, is up 6 points, up 0.18%. So, all right, so plan for today. First of all, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Second, we're going to come back. We're going to take a look at all my current positions. We're going to talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, and more importantly, how I'm going to manage them going forward, either to the upside or to the downside. Then some of you have been kind enough to share some of your trades with me. We're going to go over those as well and see how those are doing. After that, we're going to spend a few minutes. We're going to talk about some trader psychology. I also mention this each day, but learning to trade, learning to look at charts, identify support, resistance, indicators, entries, signals, exit signals. It's all very important. You need all of that to be able to put together a plan for yourself. But if you're not following your plan, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot, right? There's no sense in having a good plan if it can't be followed, and that's what comes down to trader psychology and discipline. So I think it's very important. In my opinion, it's the most important skill that you can have in trading, and if you're finding that you're not being able to follow the plan, you need to work on that. And whether that's reducing position size, so you're reducing the emotions with each particular trade, or possibly doing some meditating, deep reflection, or if all else fails, get a family member, husband, wife, brother, sister, something like that, or a friend, and explain to them what you're doing and have them be your risk manager. It doesn't have to be, something that you do forever, but the reason I suggest this is if you can get it, if you have a risk manager looking over your shoulder and basically forcing you to follow your rules, after a while, it will just become a habit and it will seem strange to go back to what you were doing before. So I do get emails, I do get people telling me that they really have an issue with this, and I completely understand. So anyway, we're going to do a few minutes on trader psychology. Hopefully there'll be something there that helps. After that, we're going to go through my watch list. We're going to go through each stock in my watch list, and I look for three things in order to look for a potential setup. One, need to make sure I have a confluence or a combination of indicators lining up. I look at indicators on my chart as potential groups of buyers, and if you want to enter a trade, for example, to the long side, then you need to be in the company as many buyers as possible. That will give you the best chance of having a profitable trade. So if one indicator represents one group of buyers, another indicator represents another group of buyers, then those coming together, now you have two groups of buyers. ideally having 3 or 4 or 5 would be even better, right? So first thing, I look for a combination or a confluence of indicators on my chart. Number 2, need to make sure that I have a good risk to reward ratio. I need to make sure that some legitimate resistance above me is going to be further away than my legitimate support below me. So I look for minimum of 2 to 1. So I want to be able to make at least 2 times on my money compared to what I lose. So if I'm willing to lose $100, I need to be able to make sure that I have I have $200 worth of movement above me before I get to next legitimate resistance above me. So that's number 2. Number 3, have to make sure I don't have too many correlated positions at one time. I don't want to have 3 or 4 tech stocks. If the day is up, sure, I'm going to do great. But if the day is down, I'm probably going to get clobbered. And remember now, the most important, your first priority of trading should not be to make money. It should be to conserve capital. And one of the best ways you can do that, not have too many correlated positions. Position size correctly so you don't have too large of positions, right? Don't hold through earnings. All these things will help you preserve your money, which is the most important part of trading. And then every once in a while, you'll have 2 or 3 or 4, 10 great trades during the year, and that will help you achieve your goals. So 3 requirements: a combination or confluence of indicators. Number 2, make sure that I have a good risk to reward ratio, at least 2 to 1. And number 3, make sure I do not have too many correlated positions. So that's what we're going to do. At the end of the day, if I find something like that, I'm going to go ahead and enter it at the end of the day. After the market closes, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to clarify. If you would like me to take a look at any stock symbols, I'm very happy to do that and give you my humble opinion on them. If you do find something before the close that you think would be beneficial for the group to look at, please let me know. But I do ask that you just put a star by it, an asterisk by it, something like that, so I can make sure, so I know it's time sensitive and I can get to it before the market closes. So, all right. Give me 1 second. I got things going off here. All right. So that's the plan for today, everyone. Sound good? So I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. If you can just hang tight for about 40 seconds, I will be back shortly. Thank you.
This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much.
All right, let's make sure I have my microphone on. Okay, hey JT, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're having a great day. Thank you so much for coming by. Always nice to see you. Wade Foster, hey Wade, what's going on, my friend? Hey, right back to you. Thank you for coming. Wade says, your end of the day SPY, is it an option? If so, is it in or out of the money? No, Wade, it's not an option. I just buy the SPY, just the regular security. We've talked, I think, quite a few times about this, whether or not the overnight SPY trade would work with an option. I honestly don't know. I haven't seen any data on it, but my gut feeling is probably not because of the time decay of the option that you're holding overnight. So no, I just use a 10% position size of my capital, buy the SPY right at the close, and then sell it first thing the next morning, but no options. Hey Gamer Squad, hey buddy, what's going on? Good to see you. Looks like your Denver Nuggets are doing pretty good. I follow basketball a lot, so I know Dave's from Denver, so I don't know if you're a basketball fan, but you guys are doing pretty well. Hey Toby, good to see you. Thank you for coming, sir. Nice to have you as always. Dr. Long, hey Dr. Long, how you doing, sir? Appreciate you coming by. Thank you. Zach, hey buddy, what's going on? Zach, 1662. Is that when you were born, Zach, in 1662? Probably not, right? But good to see you, Zach. Dr. Long says, I would buy SPY, sell out of That's all I see. I would buy SPY, sell out of. Joe Turner says, hey everyone. Hey Joe, nice to see you, my friend. Thank you for coming by. I hope you're having a nice day. Calls, I see. Dr. Long says, I would buy SPY, sell out of calls. Andrea, hey my friend, how are you? Good to see you. Hey, I'm here. We were all waiting for you. We were like, is Andrea coming today? Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Dr. Long says, money calls. Andrea says, I got into MO this AM. Okay. I don't think I've ever seen an Andrea call, or Andrea trade, so let's take a look. Okay, well, if you got in this morning, it looks like you're up maybe a little bit, huh? Well, let's everybody cheer on MO for Andrea. 51.22. Okay, so little underwater at the moment. 51.22. Okay. All right, Andrea, we're going to be tracking that trade. Looks like we have earnings come up, so please be aware of that. All right, Andrea's on the board. All right. All right, well, let's get to it. Let's get through, let's go through my current positions and see what's happening. All right, so Boeing. I did buy Boeing yesterday. I've been waiting patiently to buy Boeing. If you remember up here, I was like, if we can get down here, get ourselves a double bottom with the bullish divergence, I am definitely going to take a crack at this. And so we have the low here, we have a lower low here, we have deep red MACD bars here. Yesterday we had MACD bar to the downside, but less than half the distance of these. So then we went under 30, we went back over 30, and that was my key to buy it. It was really scary to buy it, obviously, after a big move down like this on bad news. But listen, if I'm going to be patient, wait for my setups, you know, if I identify them in advance and they look good, you know, I take them. I take them because I decided, okay, it's going to be probably a pretty good risk to reward ratio if it gets there. And so when it does get there, I buy it. Now, does it mean it's going to work every time? Unfortunately, no. It would be fun if it did. But I did buy Boeing yesterday here at 313.36. It is down today, $5.60. It's down 1.8%. My plan with this trade, if it closes under the 30 RSI, I would just go ahead and get out and give me, you know, a loss. It's 1.76%. I did buy only a half a position because it was under the 200-day, so that does help. That basically for me reduces the downside to half. So anyway, we're at 29.40. You know, it's definitely within striking distance of being able to close back above 30. We'll just have to see. I'd really like to see this close back above the negative third ATR channel as well. But if it does close under 30 RSI, again, my plan before I got into the trade was if it closes back under 30, I have to get out, no questions asked, take the small loss, just move on, right? We never know which trades are going to go up or go down. All we can do is put ourselves in a good risk to reward position based upon technicals underneath us and resistance above us. And this particular trade met that criteria, but unfortunately they don't always work out. So we shall see at the end of the day what's happening with Boeing and make my decision then. Hey, Steve Burns, good to see you, my friend. Always an honor, always a privilege to have you here. Always excited to see you in the chat. I know everyone else is, so it's a big deal for us. So thank you, Steve. Steve says, this is the Energizer Bunny bull market. Man, I guess I haven't seen anything like this since 1999, when it was just ridiculous, just going up. And I was watching Steve's newsletter last night, his video newsletter, which I subscribe to, and I would suggest that you do too, because it's really, really good. I love to just sit back and listen to it at newtraderu.com. It's his video newsletter, but he was discussing, this is a investor and a trend trader's market. I'm a swing trader primarily, so unfortunately, I've kind of had to sit on the sidelines here. But this is something that happens once every 10 years, maybe something that happens once in every 20 years. So have to be just patient, sit on my hands, wait for these dips. I can't really go chasing up here. In hindsight, chasing up here would have been a good idea, but most of the time it is not. And as a professional trader, I play the odds, right? I look at the statistics, play the odds, and generally to buy up at these levels is not a good idea. But this particular time and place, it has been a good idea, but it doesn't fit my trading profile and my goals and what I'm looking for. So I'm just going to have to sit back and wait for those dips. Zach says, what does half a position means? Oh, okay, Zach. So, on Boeing, if I have a rule that if I take a entry under the 200-day moving average, generally I use a 10% position size, Zach. So if I had $100,000 in my account, I would buy $10,000 worth of Boeing. But my rule is I have a filter. If the price is under the 200-day, then I only take a half a position. So instead of a 10% position size, I only took a 5% position size. Does that make sense? Steve says, Boeing was the only possible signal I saw across 40 plus charts, but I passed due to the volatility and the headline risk. It was a valid purely technical setup. I am surprised it went even lower. Yeah, me too. And, like Steve says, he went over 40 charts. He hasn't found anything to buy except for Boeing. Boeing did set up. It was a valid setup. Yeah, it didn't turn out. It just didn't turn out. Alan says, hello, everybody. Good to see you. Nice having you, Alan. Hey, Kamal, how you doing, my friend? Greg, would you close Boeing if it closes below yesterday's low in addition to the lower than 30 RSI? No, I just try to keep it simple. If it closes under the 30, I get out. If it closes above, I'm just going to stay in. But thanks for the question, Kamal. Looking for our lesson tomorrow. Frank, hey buddy, the trading poet, what's going on? Frank says, trading can feel so contradictory as news makes you feel and financial advice gets so weary. Do something, do nothing, take a stand, understand, and then someone tells you to sit on your hands. Oh, very good. Let me read that one more time. Trading can feel so contradictory as news makes you leery and financial advice gets so weary. Do something, do nothing, take a stand, understand, and then someone tells you to sit on your hands. Sitting on your hands sometimes is the best position to have, Frank. It really is. It really is. So that's good. That's really good advice. Being long is a valid position, being short is a valid position, and being in cash with no positions is a valid position. That's what Dr. Alexander always told me. Dr. Alexander Elder. Okay, what were we doing? Okay. So SPY. All right. In case we have some new viewers today, I do want to go over this. I do buy the SPY, SPY, not the options, but just the ETF. I buy it every single day at the close of the market, right before the close of the market. And I sell it first thing the very next morning. So why do I do this? It has nothing to do with technicals, resistance, moving averages, anything. It just has to do with this long-term back-tested study from Lizanne Saunders, AppySpoke Invest. This back test is from 1993, and they tested two approaches. Approach number one, buy the SPY at the open in the morning, sell it at the close each day at the end of the day. So buy the open, sell the close, buy the open, sell the close. If you would have used this approach every single day since 1993, you'd have actually returned a negative 13.9% for all your troubles. However, if you did the opposite, which is what I do, and buy the SPY at the close, and then sell the next morning. So buy the close, sell the next open, buy the close, sell the next open. If you would have used this approach from 1993, you've actually returned a 634.2% return. So you can see option one, buy at the open, sell the close, negative 13.9%. To the opposite, buy at the close, sell the next morning every day, 634.2%. So you can see there's a huge difference in when you buy it and when you sell it. So I like this chart. It shows you that if you do have an edge and you rinse and repeat and apply that edge every single day, over time, what your equity curve can look like. It doesn't go straight up. You know, here it went straight up, then it went down for 2.5 years, and then it went up for 4 years, and then down, right? So there's ups and downs. No matter how good your edge is, there's always going to be ups and downs in your equity curve, but with a long-term upward drift if you do have an edge. Just like a casino. Casinos don't win money every single day. Every table doesn't win money every single day. It would probably look similar to this, but over time, they always win. As any of you have gone to Vegas, probably know, because they have an edge. So you can really see the difference. Blue line, buy in the afternoon, sell in the morning. Orange line, buy in the morning, sell in the afternoon. Past performance, no guarantee of future results. But you know what's really quite interesting to me, and I do this every day, but it's still interesting to me, is really what this means is that all the gains in the U.S. stock market have come from after hours, people bidding up the price in after hours, and people bidding up the price in the pre-market. It is not from in the day. You can see in the day, it's actually been negative, right? So anyway, that is why I buy the SPY every single day at the end of the day, and I sell it first thing the next morning. So with that being said, I did buy it yesterday at 331.30 at the close of the market, and I sold it at the open here at 332.36. So pretty nice overnight gain, and didn't quite get the top, but it has reversed now. It looks like quite a bit. So in 2019, I had a really great return using this approach. So far this year, I'm slightly down on the approach, but it's only been 22 days, right? So slightly down. I have had really bad months in 2019. May, I lost 80% of all my trades using this approach, but still ended up with a really good year, kind of like that chart I showed you where you do have, doesn't go straight up, right? So anyway, grateful to have a profitable trade on this today. I'm going to be buying this again at the end of the market. Okay, so we were speaking about the VIX, not VIX, we were talking about, you know, under 30, over 30. I did buy the VIX yesterday at 1343 when it went under the 30 RSI and then closed back above the 30 RSI. Also had not a great V1, but a technical V1. Here's day one, here's day two. Day two washes out day one, closes above day one's close. So I did buy at 1343. This morning it went under 30 RSI again, but now it looks like it's rallied and it has gone positive. So a positive trade for me. So that's good. So definitely going to be holding on to VIX here as long as it closes above 32.36, and really glad to have this negative trade earlier in the day go positive. Okay. Last position I have is XLU. This has been a monster trade, and it's a great example of a return to value. So the green line here and the green line here, this is the 1 ATR channel, this is the negative 1 ATR channel. One of my favorite setups is when the price goes above the 1 ATR channel, comes back into the value zone, moves sideways, then I have a V1 or a V2 to the upside. Didn't quite get this here, but we did go into the value zone. We moved sideways, showing that there was some stability to the market. I was looking for a V2 here. Here's day one, day two, day three. Day two washes out day one. Day three did not close above, but I still like the setup, so I got an alternative entry here back on the 9th. And the reason why, if you go back 2 days, we have this day here, The next day goes above that day and then closes below. So we had a bearish V1 to the downside. That is negative. However, if I get a negative V1 to the downside and the next day it immediately goes back up, it's showing me that this negative price action immediately got reversed with positive price action, I'll take the trade. As long as the setup, as long as the context is good, and the context was a return to value sideways movement. So I did buy it here at 64.22. You can see this has been a monster trade. I've held on to this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. And it's been up 8 days in a row. So, you know, this is a good example, everyone, of being patient with your winners and being very impatient with your losers. I mean, you know me, right? I'm not going to hold on to a loser for 8 days in a row. If it goes down 8 days in a row, right? I wouldn't even consider it, wouldn't even enter my mind. But if it's a winner, then you have to let it go. You have to have an open mind and risk some open profits to make more. So I did hit one profit target here today at 67.63. I've been phasing out this entire time, getting very close to my ultimate profit target up here. But right now we're at 82.79 RSI. If it keeps moving up, I will continue to phase out as long as I have shares until I run out of shares, or if we get a close below the previous day's low or lose the 70 RSI, I will definitely go ahead and just lock in the remaining profits on this. But this has been a great trade. This has been a fantastic trade. I wish all my trades were this easy. Get in and they just go straight up. Pretty easy stuff, right? But unfortunately, it doesn't work like that all the time. So those are my positions. Now let's take a look at some of your positions. A man solo bought, let's see, he bought RNST back here on the 13th, under the 200, over the 200, giving support at the 200, small loss if he's wrong, potential for large gain if he's right. He was right, up, up, up. I'm not 100% sure if he was phasing out here or not. Yesterday, we had an inside day. I know he was looking for a close below the previous day's low. Today, though, look at this. Today, we did bounce off the 200 again, not sure, and reverse back up. Not sure if he's still in this or if he's going to get out with the close, but I'm assuming he's still in this. Bing He, all right, Bing He. So Bing He bought SDOW, SDOW. He bought that yesterday at 35.45. This is a triple leverage short position off of the Dow. So as the market goes up, down, his position will go up. So he is slightly in the money on this trade. It went under 30, over the 30 RSI. It went under the negative third ATR channel, over the negative third ATR channel, and that was his entry. I imagine his stop is going to be a close below the 30 RSI. So anyway, this is rally back up. Looks like he's in the money. So good for you, Bing He. Oh, Bing He's here. Hey, what's going on, Bing He? I was just going over your chart. So anyway, this one looks like it's working out for you so far. Nice to see you, my friend. Zach says, okay, another percentage question. When you say phase out, how do you typically determine what percent you take off? So that's kind of a long question, Zach. In the description of this video, I have a link to one of my YouTube videos that talks about my phasing out. And, you know, I think it's about an hour video. But I don't really think I have time here to discuss that in detail. But again, it's in the description of this video. It's in one of my lessons. And like I said, they're free. They're on YouTube. And it is my phasing out video. And so watch that. Let me know if you have any particular questions, and I'm happy to answer them for you. But the quick answer is it's not like, okay, it's 5% at each profit target. It depends on where the current price is and how close it is to my ultimate profit target. The further away, the less percentage I'm going to phase out. The closer I get to my profit target, the higher percentage I'm going to phase out. So this is a formula that I worked on for a couple years, and I really like it. So the further away, as it moves up, I phase out less. The closer it gets to my profit target, like for instance, XLU. All right, so my ultimate profit target is here, right, at about $68, at least today, because it changes every day. So here, maybe I was getting out of 8% at each profit target, up here maybe 10, 12%, up here maybe 15%. And so the closer I get to that ultimate profit target, the higher of percentage I want to get out, because I want to take more chips off the table as I get closer to my profit target. So anyway, hope that helped, Zach. I know it's not real specific, but I think if you watch that video in the description of my video here on phasing out, I think that will help you. But once you do that, let me know. Okay. All right. So William Green bought Ford yesterday. This is a pretty decent setup, really. Rejected the 50-day moving average, closed back above, had a nice V2. I'm sorry, a V1, washed out this previous low. Everything looks pretty good on this. Unfortunately, it just did not cooperate, like a lot of trades. Again, the higher conviction you have on a setup, the more likely that if it goes against you, you're going to want to stay in it. But please don't do that. You know, you can have 5 or 6 indicators lining up, but if it tells you you're wrong, you're probably wrong. Me personally, I'd probably get out today. It went above the 50 RSI, and it looks like it rejected the 50 RSI. So not telling William what to do. You do whatever you need to do. You know, another option would be a close below halfway the washout bar, but that would be about right here. So that one also looks like that would fail. I mean, we're not closed yet, but okay. Joe Turner had this yesterday, got close to bouncing off the negative third ATR channel, had a nice entry here at 62.59, up 79 cents today, up 1.26%. So very nice, Joe. Very, very nice. Just be aware of the 50 RSI up here. Be aware of the 200-day, how it reacts around there. WBA, no one has this, but this is just something that we were looking at. It was near the 200-day moving average. It was under the 30 RSI, which generally is a good confluence, but it's still under the 200-day and it's still under the 30. So nothing there. Okay. Bing He says SRCL looks interesting. SRCL. Oh. SRCL. SRCL. There we go. Yeah, it does. We have a higher low V1. We're beneath the 1 ATR channel. We rally into the channel. We have at least 2 days down, bump, bump. And here we have a V1. Here's day 1. Here's day 2. Day 2 washes out day 1. Looks like it's going to close above. The only thing that concerns me a little bit here is that we already have rejected the 50-day moving average. Ideally, I'd like that to close back above if possible, or you could just defer to the 50 RSI. But yeah, this does look pretty good. Looks like we have a MACD crossover, monthly chart, and an uptrend there. Weekly chart has come off of its high, which is good. So yeah, not too bad at all. Good example of a higher low V1, close below the 1 ATR channel, rally up, couple days down, take out the previous day's low, close above. So let me know if you do anything with that, Bing He. Zach says, I'll check that out. Good, good, good. Dr. Long says, I bought puts on AN last week. Oh, very nice. Very, very nice. Well, puts definitely working on that chart. Steve Burns says, one of the most difficult skills to develop as a trader is patience, the ability to do nothing when there is nothing to do. Both waiting for a signal or letting a winner run takes a lot of sitting power. Yeah, it's totally true. You know, trading is difficult. Pushing the buttons is easy. Looking at the technicals is not that hard either, really. But it's following your plan, not doing something when you're not supposed to do something, doing something when you're supposed to do something, right? So very, very true. You know, that's why I always say your greatest skill in trading is your psychology. It's not your chart reading ability. That is really not that difficult. But yes, thank you, Steve. The ability to do nothing when there is nothing to do. Both waiting for a signal or letting a winner run takes a lot of sitting power. Yeah, it's difficult to do. So, okay. Let us take a look over here. So, all right. Well, listen, this is the time of the day where I do like to talk about trader psychology. There's some really good Facebook posts out there. There's some really great Twitter posts out there. People that spend a lot of time and effort putting out really good sayings, trading words of wisdoms, things that should help us with our trading if we just were to read them and follow them. And one of my favorites is Trading Proverbs on Twitter, @Trading Proverbs. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel on Twitter, I would suggest, and I'd take a look at all their posts. They're great posts. They don't take a long time to read, but they're great posts and they're helpful. So this is from Bill Nygren. I think he's the fund manager for Oakmark Funds, but Bill says, taking advantage of the values created by emotional investors is the cornerstone of the Oakmark Funds approach to investing. We try to buy from the fearful or bored investors and sell to greedy investors who want excitement. Right? Makes sense? You know, this is very similar to, you know, when I was studying one-on-one with Dr. Alexander Elder, he said, Greg, do you know what our role is as a professional trader? And I said, what? He says, our role is to buy from people who are manic or depressed or scared or fearful, and then sell those shares back to them when they're euphoric and greedy. And this is exactly what Bill Nygren is saying. Taking advantage of the values created by emotional investors is the cornerstone of the Oakmark Funds approach to investing. We try to buy from the fearful or bored investors and sell to greedy investors who want excitement, right? So I would say right now, people are pretty greedy, right? Pretty greedy. And, you know, buying Boeing was, you know, buying from fearful or bored investors. So it didn't work out this time, right? But you get the point. But anyway, the point here is, you know, have a plan. Buy from people when they're fearful. If your indicators line up, if your readings line up, you don't know if it's going to be a winner or not. But you know, if things look good, take the trade. Have yourself a good risk to reward, and then sell into the people that are greedy who want excitement. You know, their whole fund is based upon this approach. So thank you, Trading Proverbs. That's a really great post. Appreciate you putting that out, and I hope that's helpful for everyone. Wade says, how do you know when there is nothing? Asking as a new trader. So no moves on your list. So yeah, Wade, I mean, you know, I have 4 different type of setups that I use. I have deep dip buys, I have return to value V1s, V2s, I have higher low V1s, V2s, and I have moving average crossovers. And currently everything is just trending up. So none of my strategies are coming into place. Everything's too extended, too overbought. So that's what I mean. You know, think about if the only methodology you had to trading was to buy with a close under the 200 or the over 200, right? Well, there's not much out there right now that's allowing you to do this. I mean, look at Apple. I mean, it's so far away from its 200-day moving average. So if all you did was buy under the 200, there would be nothing for you to do here, right? You would just have to wait for it to come back down to the 200. So that's one approach. I use 4 different approaches, but none of them are lining up. So I hope that helps, Wade. Yavier B, if you were, how's it going? Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming. I think this is the first time I've seen you. If you were to rank and assign percentages of traders' toolbox, i.e. skill, knowledge, psychology, or some other factor or element, how would you rank them? Thank you for this. Well, okay, what are the options? Skill, knowledge, psychology, or some other factor element. Psychology would definitely be number one, 100%. Knowledge, well, it depends what we mean by knowledge. Knowledge of yourself, I guess that is part of psychology, but just knowledge as far as having a good trading setup, possibly. I'd probably put that, you know, a good trading approach or good risk to reward, I would put that as second. And skill, skill's kind of similar to knowledge the way I'm thinking about it. But psychology would definitely be number one, knowledge number two, and skill would be number three. Psychology by long ways would be number one. Probably like 70% for knowledge, 70% for psychology, 20% for knowledge, and 10% for skill. Oh, is Spice up again today? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, this is insane. This is insane. Every day, could you imagine if you're short this, guys, and every day you think, oh, it's too high, and you just get rolled over 10% yesterday, 12% today. Unbelievable. What's the RSI? 92. Have you ever seen 100 RSI, Steve? Wade says, didn't GE go under the 200 today, or is that a bad stock? Oh, it's just not on my watch list, but we can take a look at it. No, didn't go under the 200. The 200 for me is the black line down here. The red's the 100. So, you know, this is potentially setting up for something, though. We're back into the value zone. If we could start moving sideways, get a V1 or a V2, then I might be interested. So there's trades out there, Wade. It's just I kind of have a watch list that I go over. I mean, I could look at stocks all day long and probably find something, but I'm just comfortable with the stocks that I have in my watch list. And unless somebody points something out to me, sure, then I'll take it if I like it. But no, it did not lose the 200. Technical knowledge, okay. Yeah, I think I stand by that. Psychology, 100% number one. Knowledge being technical knowledge, okay, sure. 70, 20% of the knowledge and the skill. I'm not sure what we're defining as skill, but psychology by far and away the most important, and then knowledge second. Mount Doji says, any thoughts on HPE going under the 200? Yeah, I mean, it's okay. Of course, I don't know what's going to happen, but if it goes under the 200 and back over the 200 and holds back above the 200, that's generally a pretty good sign, right? Doesn't mean it's going to go up, but it means that the market just told you that it rejected the 200-day moving average, closed back above it. Now you have something to key off of with the 200-day underneath you, and if you're wrong, you can be wrong small. If you're right, well, you can have a better than 2-to-1 risk to reward to the upside. I'm not particularly a fan of this huge big bar here, but even right now, it looks like it's right at the 200. Surprise, surprise, it's holding 200. Let's take a look at the monthly. Monthly, kind of sidewards. Weekly, holding support here at the -1 ATR channel. That's decent. How are we doing on time? All right, let me take a look at something for you, Mount Doji. What is that? HPE? HPE. Ah, shoot. I was doing the back test on this Mount Doji, but it's not available. All right. So, you know, you never know. If it closes above the 200-day and you want to use that as a line in the sand, sure. It would be better if we, let's see, did we go under 30 yesterday? I don't think so. All I can say is it gives a good risk reward. It doesn't strike me as something that I would buy though. All right, I better hustle and get to the charts here. I'm going to go through these pretty quick, so make sure we have some time. Okay, Apple, too extended. I needed to come back into the value zone. I need a dip before I can get involved in Apple. I just cannot buy up at these levels. Adobe, same thing. I need a dip back into the value zone. When I say value zone, I mean this green line, anything above the 1 ATR channel, I consider overvalued. Anything in the value zone, I consider at value. Anything under the negative 1 ATR channel, I considered undervalue. I want to buy at value or undervalue. So nothing on Adobe, waiting for a dip. Amazon down a little bit. We are in the value zone here, but nothing there. How we doing on Boeing? So Boeing might be a photo finish as far as our 30 RSI. Right now it's 29.50, so if it closes under 30, I'm going to go ahead and get out. Closes above, I'll stay in it. Berkshire Hathaway, need to pull back into value. Beyond Meat, oh wow, this is another big monster. Look at this, so it was up huge, now it's down. It's just too high for me, need to pull back into value. Caterpillar, whoa, look at that. We were hanging around into value here, weren't we? Bump, 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 bump. I was considering taking this V2. Here's day 1, day 2, day 3, day 2. Washes out day 1, day 3. Closed above, but see the gap? The gap is what kept me out of this stock. That's the filter that keeps me out, and it looks like it was a good idea. But nothing there. Maybe visit that at the 30 RSI. Dow Jones, need to pull back into value before I can get interested. Walt Disney. All right, so Disney is interesting. We closed below the 1 ATR channel. We rallied into the value zone. We had 2 days down. Bump, bump. We gapped up to form a V2, day 1, day 2, day 3. But then we went back down and we closed the gap and then back up. So if Disney can close above 144.33 today, I will go ahead and buy Disney for a higher low V1. But it has to close above day 1's close, 144.33. Etsy, nothing on Etsy. Need to pull back into value. Facebook, pull back into value. Gold, looking for a pullback into value, sideways movement, and or 5 going under the 20 EMA and cross back under. Boy, I'm running out of time. Google, pull back into value. Goldman Sachs, I need to pull back into value. Home Depot, way extended, kind of a negative reversal bar here, looking for a pullback into value. IBB, nothing there, but it is at a reasonable level. Look for a V1 or V2 in the future. Intel, huge day up. Looks like we have earnings tomorrow. IWM was above the value zone. Now we're coming back into the value zone. If we could get some sideways movement, then I could be interested there. Johnson & Johnson, looks like it had earnings, gap down, reverse, so nothing there. CarMax just keeps on trucking. I know Steve had a really great under 30, over 30, I believe, or maybe it was under the negative third ATR Bollinger Band and above, but I know he bought it back down here, had a great trade, I think up into here somewhere, but that one kept on going. Coca-Cola, it's amazing how these defensive stocks are just so strong. Lockheed Martin, need to pull back into value. MasterCard, pull back into value before I can do anything. McDonald's, like to buy it down here in the value zone, the 200-day. Merck, nothing on Merck, unless we can move sideways for another day and then have a V1, V2. Microsoft, down a little bit, looking for a pullback into value. Netflix had earnings, it was down and then it was up on earnings. So I would be interested to see how Netflix reacts around the 200, and under 200, over 200 might be a decent place to buy this, and earnings in the rear view mirror. So not quite there yet, but if we could bounce off the 200 or move sideways and then spike down below the 200 and then reverse back up, that would offer me a good risk reward ratio. Nike, big rejection of the third ATR channel and bearish reversal candle. So this looks a little toppy, nothing there. Philip Morris, nothing there, need to pull back into value. PayPal down a little bit. V1, negative V1, rejection of the 70 RSI and rejection of the third ATR candle and a false breakout to the downside. You know, this is that's very bearish. You know, there's a few setups there on the short side. Negative V1, rejection of the third ATR channel, rejection of this previous high. You know, that's all pretty bearish and a negative reversal candle. So, you know, I'm not going to short this, but this is definitely something that would stick out if I were going to short. Qs, nothing there. Need to pull back into value. Silver, looking for the 5 EMA to cross under the 20 EMA and then back over. So this one is possibly setting up for us in the future. S&P, of course, we have that overnight trade. Going to buy that again at the end of the day. Bonds, big choppy mess, but definitely to the upside. So seeing a lot of money rotate in defensive sectors, defensive stocks sectors like McDonald's and Philip Morris, and into things like utilities. People are looking for yield, into bonds. So interesting time. Look at Tesla. Imagine if you shorted that baby back here. Oh my gosh, this is a bit of a bearish candle, so I imagine shorts would look at that and feel a little happy to see something like that, but I would need to pull back into value. Twitter, nothing really there, pull back into value. UNH, pull back into value. Oil, well, we lost the 200-day moving average. We're to 34.65. I would be, you know, considering buying this if we could go under 30. Back over 30 or back over the 200-day moving average in the negative third ATR channel. So this may possibly be a setup in the days to come. VIX, 31.48. So positive on this trade, barely, but I'll take it. But it is holding the 30 so far, so I will hold the position. Verizon had a nice bounce off the 200-day, but nothing there. I need to pull back into value. Walmart finally got some green on the board. This has been a one-way train down here, but I don't see any setup. Although it looks like it may close above the 10-day moving average, which would be a good sign because it's been a long time since it's closed above the 10-day, but not enough to get me interested. Energy, 31.43. So again, if we closed under 30, back over 30, I would be possibly interested. Financial sector, just sideways movement. Real estate, big reversal bar. Back, it was over the third ATR channel, under the third ATR channel. I would need a pullback. Utilities, we have, you know, again, this is another one where people are looking for yield. It's a defensive kind of position. So this one is moved up nicely for us, still in it, one profit target today, and healthcare. So really the only thing I see here today is possibly Disney. If it can close above 143.33. So let's take a look at current positions. Boeing currently under 30 RSI, so I'm going to have to watch that one carefully at the end of the day. SPY, I'm going to buy that automatically at the end of the day. VIX holding above 30 and XLU. So I have to turn my focus now to Boeing. Probably going to be a photo finish on the RSI. Let's take a look intraday. Down, down, up, holding steady. And Disney's getting close. So if Disney closes above 143.33, I will take a position there. Frank says it's okay to set alerts on prospective stocks and just wait it out. 100%. That's what Dr. Alexander always told me. One of his best traders he ever knew, she would do exactly what we talked about. Look at a chart, say, okay, look, in 2 or 3 weeks, this might get there. She would make a note of it, print it out on her computer, and just pin it up on her wall so that she would be looking at it every day, because you make the plan well in advance before you're in the position. When you can look at it objectively and look out in the future and say, hey, if it goes to this price, it will have a double bottom with a bullish divergent. So it might be at the third ATR, negative 30 ATR channel. It may be at such and such RSI. You know, and when you make a plan like that well in advance, you're thinking very logically. So if it gets there, you've already made the decision back a week or so ago when you were thinking very logically, and it's not going to be impulsive. So anyway, that's what that's what he told me. She'd look out in the future and say, if this gets to there, that would be interesting. She prints it out, posts it up on her wall with a pin, and looks at it so she doesn't forget about it. I can't tell you how many times I've said, oh, if this gets to here, then I will definitely buy it. And then I forget about it, and it gets to there, and it goes up, right? Mount Doji, ah, shucks, thanks for the insight. Oh, you're welcome, bud. You're welcome. Sorry, but I don't want to put a positive spin on it if I don't see a positive spin. Okay, we have 5 minutes. Steve says 45 viewers in here today. Oh, that's excellent. Thank you for noticing that, Steve. I think that's a record. I think that's a record. Wade says you're using daily candles, right? I don't use candles. I just use open, high, lows, close bars like here. Candles are like this. So I don't use candles. I use just regular open, high, low, close. But it doesn't matter. They're pretty much the same thing. Murat, hey buddy, good to see you. Hope you're having a nice evening, my friend. Murat says, Greg, if all these stocks pull back in value at the same time, then there will be a serious correction to the market. Yeah, I know. You're 100% right. That's basically what I'm having to wait for. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit here and do my overnight SPY trade, and that's about it, right? Which is, Steve mentioned that on his newsletter as well. He said, because I think Steve's flat as well, if I'm correct, Steve, other than your overnight SPY trade. And the nice thing with the overnight SPY trade is even at these extended levels, because I'm not factoring in technicals, it allows me to at least participate in the market a little bit. So that's something, right? But yeah, you're right, Murat. All right. Things to look at. Boeing's going to be close. Disney is going to be close. All right, let me just make sure I don't have any existing orders in here, so it messes me up at the end of the day. Okie doke. So we have about 3 minutes. So Disney's going to be close, but again, we closed below the 1 ATR channel. We rallied into the value zone. We came back, we had 2 days down, which is important. People that bought here, hanging on, but as it started to fail, that's probably where they got out. So if we do trigger, we won't have too many sellers to worry about because the people that bought here already sold in this down move. So pretty close, 144.33, so it's 10 cents. Oh my gosh, Apple's only down up $1 now. It was up $3 the last time I looked at it. So if it can get there, I will definitely buy Disney. My stop will be halfway the washout bar right here. So it offers me a good risk to reward right there, approximately. Okay. How are we doing on Boeing? Oh man. This is going to be close with two of them that are going to be right on the button. Come on, one of them, just do your thing so I know. All right. 2 minutes, that's going to be close. Well, I'm just going to have to do my best here, make a decision. Looks like Disney's not going to get there. Looks like Boeing, what are we at? 2181. Oh my gosh. 2178, 2977. So I'm going to do my best at the end, right? When it's so close, but it does kind of look like it's going to be under, but who knows? 9 seconds, 8 seconds. All right. I sold it. I don't know if it's going to close above, but oh, it looks like it didn't. So good. Okay, so I'm out of Boeing. But listen, may revisit it again tomorrow if it can close back above the 30. So I am out of Boeing, took the small loss on that. Very grateful it was a half a position, I got to tell you. S&P, boy, pretty big reversal there. Looks like, where did we get filled on the S&P today? We got filled at 331.34. All right. Boom. 331.34. So that's the new entry for the overnight SPY position right there. And then Disney did not close above, right? It did not. It did not. Okay, so VIX ended up above 30. So far, little profit. I'll take that. So SPY, 331.34. VIX holding steady above 30. XLU did hit the one profit target. So as with most days recently, I've not had a lot of positions, but at least I'm trying to set a good example for everyone to show you, you know, about sitting on your hands and not taking trades and not forcing trades if they're not there. So anyway, I hope it's helpful. So listen, if you have any more questions or comments, please let me know. I'm really happy to answer them and give you clarification on anything you need. If you'd like me to take a look at any stock symbols, anything like that, please let me know. Before I do, I just want to put in my quick little daily plug, let everybody know that I do offer private one-on-one coaching and teaching lessons in the evening time via Skype. I do offer a course. It's 5 sessions. Each session is between 2 and 3 hours. It's, you know, an intensive course, just you and I. I basically teach the first part of the lesson and then have you basically teach it back to me. I ask you a lot of questions. We do a lot of chart study. There's a lot of hands-on. But, you know, in this course, I teach you everything I've learned over the last 24 years as a full-time trader, things I've developed myself over the years, things that I've learned from all my teachers and mentors like Dr. Alexander Elder and Steve Burns and Carrie Lavorne. And so, you know, it is $1,000, but I think for what you get, all the experience and all the things I've learned over 24 years from some really great teachers, I think $1,000 is actually a really good value. So if you're interested, basically, you know, contact me. My email's in the description of this video. You can also send me a message on Twitter, but, you know, before you commit to the lessons, I like to have it's a free Skype call, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, whatever it takes, but just want to know you, get to know you a little bit better, understand your trading career, your path, what got you into trading, what your challenges are, and what your goals are, and then I'll try to put together a lesson to fit, you know, those needs. So anyway, if you're interested, please reach out to me. We can schedule that Skype call and it'll be fun. So, and then secondly, if you like today's live stream, if you find value in this channel or today's program, I would really appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up button. It helps grow the channel on YouTube. A lot of people out there need a lot of help with trading, and I think if we could get them to this channel on a semi-regular basis, I think they'll pick up some things that hopefully will help them with their trading. So okay, that's my little plug for today, and thanks for listening to it as always. Bing He says SRCL above 50 MA now, but I am letting it go. Not too sure, but just a feeling, not taking it. All right, let's take a look. SRCL. Well, it's right at the 50-day, isn't it? We had a 520 crossover. MACD is positive. So you didn't take it. Okay, good call. I mean, we'll see, right? But it was a V1. It was a higher low V1. But again, closed below the -1 ATR channel, rallied back in, pullback, reversal, close back over. So yeah, this one could go either way. You know, we'll see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's put it down just for fun, being he, and let's track it and see, just for experience sake. Let's track it here. And we will put up here, being he paper trade. How's that, being he? Steve says, yeah, I am flat and only trading overnight. That's right. That's right. So if people meet Steve and go, oh, are you a day trader? Of course, right? If whenever you tell people you trade stocks, they always say, are you a day trader? It's like, well, not really. I mean, do you have an hour for me to explain? So we are overnight traders. Murat says, I have some positions open and mostly doing commodity trades these days. Oh, good. Any good ones, Murat? Any ones that stand out? Joe Turner says, they said that Tesla would never make it, but that was just a spoof. He said the steel ball would never break. Now the stock is through the roof. Boy, is it ever through the roof. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, man. Those poor shorts. Oh, boy. You know, this is a good time to kind of mention, everybody. If you make a determination in your mind that Tesla is too high right here, right? Or right here. If you make that determination and you put a lot of energy behind it and like, this is stupid, it is too high, I'm going to short this. If you are that convicted, not convicted, if you have that much conviction when you take this short position, it is so hard to get out, right? Because if you make the determination it's not going any higher and it does, then all those higher prices are giving you or something more to short. Right? I'm not saying to do that, but I'm just saying in this example, if you've made a determination that something is too high and it goes against you, then how can you possibly get out? It's one of the toughest things in my career. You know, that's why I'm kind of passionate about it. In my career, the big losses I've always had have come from that exact thing. This is too low. It cannot go any lower. And I go piling in. So dumb. So dumb. Right? And I know people in Tesla that are short right now have that exact same feeling, right? And if you cover the short and then it goes down, that pain is almost more painful than if you would have stayed in it and it would have gone up. Does that make sense? That's what really messes with people's minds. They're like, how could I possibly get out now? Because I'm short, and if it goes down tomorrow and I'm not short, it's just going to be excruciating. I'd rather stay long. I'd rather stay short, have it go up and lose more money. That's less painful than watching it go down and not being in the position. Anybody can relate to this? So, you know, the takeaway of all of this, everyone, is, you know, don't have too much conviction in a trade. Like I said, I do the opposite. I look at trades and go, oh, this one's going to be a loser. This one's going to be a loser. It's not negative. It just primes the pump for me. So if I'm wrong, I'm like, aha, I was wrong. And my ego can let me get out of the trade easily, right? It's all a mental game, guys. And girls, it's all a mental game. And that's why, kind of back to the question Xavier asked me about, you know, what's most important in psychology, because this all plays into psychology. Frank says, this market reminds me of the old saying, water, water everywhere and not a drop to drink anywhere. Yeah, that's right. That's a good saying, Frank. Yeah, not much water for me to drink around here, but, you know, a good lesson and a good exercise in being disciplined and waiting, because, you know, I don't know when the market, I mean, will the market go down? Sure. Market will go down. There'll be times where there's profit taking or something will happen. And, you know, I've done this long enough to realize that when you get these big moves and then it starts to go down and everybody realizes, oh, I think we're at the top, then everyone gets out together, and you usually have, you know, very destructive move down that can literally take out a week or 2 weeks of trading profits, or 3 weeks of trading profits in a matter of days, right? So that is what is precluding me from buying and chasing things up here, because honestly, I'm scared of a big sell-off be right in the middle of that. So better to just sit on my hands. You know, there'd be nothing worse than to not get in the market back here and watch it go up, 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 finally go okay and capitulate and get in, and then it go down. Everybody made money but you buying at the top. So, you know, I'm not saying this is the top, but historically things are pretty overbought from an RSI perspective, from a ATR channel perspective, right? So better to just sit, wait for those dips. And if they don't come, then this is just not going to be, you know, probably won't be too profitable of a year for me, but I am pretty confident that they will come. Mert says, yes, I did some good trades with carbon and emissions and sugar. You can trade carbon emissions? Is that something you can trade futures on, Mert? I didn't know that. I know sugar is. Oh, Dr. Long, I was long Tesla and lost my position. Yeah, you know, what you have to be careful of, and I've seen this time and time again, is people that miss a big move on a stock, like let's say Apple, they missed a big move on a stock. Their mindset goes to, well, I'm going to short this stock. I may have not made it on the way up, but I'll make it on the way down. And that's also not a good move. You know, it's also not a good move. The trading gods somehow don't like that way of thinking. But that's generally where people start really getting, especially if they've missed the uptrend and they're like, dang it, I missed it, but it's high, I'm going to make it on the downside. You know, so probably not a good idea. Probably just best to wait and buy the dip. Oh, Mert says, yes, it is on ice. It is on ice, London. Oh, interesting. Hey, Mert, if you ever have a chance, maybe you could Twitter me or send me a message on Twitter, maybe with a chart of that. I'd like to see that. I've never seen that. Dr. Long says, I never fade myself. Yeah, perfect. That's good. That's good. Okay, well, so this is the S&P. Let's take a look intraday. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that was quite a sell-off. These are 39-minute bars. So up, down. You know, interesting. Was it above the 1 ATR channel? Yes, it was. Did it come into the value zone? Yes, it did. Did it hold steady for 2 days? Not really. Did we have a V1? We did, but not 2 days of it had 1 day of stability. Again, this is 39-minute chart, but just an example. So I would not have taken this trade. So, you know, a lot of times if you come right to the value zone, you move sideways without sideways, you come down, you don't move sideways, and you have a bounce. A lot of times that bounce just turns into a lower high, which is exactly what happened here. So we did find support at the -1 ATR channel, which is normal, like you did back here. But yeah, that was quite a big sell-off at the end of the, I mean, actually a lot of the day. If we look at the 5-minute chart, boy, that was really down, 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 wasn't it? Okay, Dr. Long says, I am still long from 1325 and 1340. Oh, good. Yeah, I had you on there, but then when I had a position, I had all these different lines. I thought it would be confusing, Dr. Long, so that's why I took it off, because I'd have different entry prices. Like, this is going to be confusing to everybody, but very good. So you're long at 1325, so you're in the money on that, and you're long 1340, so very nice. So you ended up making you're in the money on that. Christopher Hitchens says, having a losing trade and closing it is the hardest part of trading. Second hardest part is controlling the pain when you're losing tick, is to stick to the plan and keep the losses small. Yeah. Having a losing trade and closing it is the hardest part of trading. It is hard. It's very, very hard to do. That's why so few people can make money trading. They get caught up in the psychology. That's why I talk about psychology all the time. The second hardest part is controlling the pain when you're losing. When you're losing, trick is to stick to the plan and keep the losses small. You know, Christopher, I've mentioned this every time, but there's two types of regrets in trading that you're going to have all the time. The first regret is if you have rules and you don't follow the rules and it goes against you. You're going to go, why didn't I follow my rules? I'm so, you're regretful about it. The second type of regret is when you do follow your rules and you don't take a trade, and then it goes blasting off without you, and then you're like, why didn't I take that? Why didn't I take that? Well, because you'd be breaking your rules. So whether you break your rules or you follow your rules, there's always going to be regret. But it's just part of trading. You just have to get used to it and just realize that it happens, right? Just like casinos, blackjack dealers, roulette. Do they win every trade? No, they do not. But do they regret every trade they lose? No, they don't care. They know in the long run that they're going to win, right? You don't see blackjack dealers at the $5 table sweating it out, clutching their pearls, when they lose two hands in a row. They don't care, right? They just don't care, and we should try to become like that, like Mark Douglas says, right? Every trade is just one of the next 1,000 trades. You take a look at a trade, you look and see if you have a good risk to reward ratio, you identify what your risk is, you position size correctly, you put the trade on, and you're either going to win or you don't. And you don't care, right? I know he says that. I know it's hard to do, but it's something to strive for, right? And if you're wrong, okay, you're wrong. You just get on to the next one and do it. It's just like playing a slot machine. You go up to a slot machine, you put something in, you pull the handle. Do you really expect to win? I don't, right? But every once in a while you're surprised. But something's going to happen. So if you put on a trade, something is going to happen, right? But make sure you put yourself in a good position, good technicals underneath you, good risk to reward, position size correctly, put it on, then it's out of your hands, right? Dr. Long says, my percentages are bigger because I trade futures that are a huge leverage. Oh, yes, they are, Dr. Long, for sure, right? For sure. Dr. Long says, the sell stops were below 1350. Above there would cause buyers. The sell stops were below 1350. Above there would cause buyers. Oh, I see. Yeah, so Dr. Long trades futures then. Yeah, futures, look, man. Futures is a whole nother world. Like Dr. Long says, tons of leverage. I traded futures for a long time. And, big swings in futures, very big swings. Marit says, the real killer is hope in this business, especially in a losing trade. The real killer is hope in this business, especially in a losing trade. Yeah. I mean, look, I can't remember who said this, but it's a good saying, but most people hope. There's hope and fear in trading. Most people, if they're in a losing trade, have hope. Most people, when they're in a winning position, have fear. If you're in a losing position, you have hope that it's going to come back. If you're in a winning position, you have fear that it's going to go down. It needs to be the complete opposite, everyone. When you're in a winning position, you should have hope. When you're in a losing position, you should be fearful. Make sense? So think about that. Meditate on that a little bit. But right now, you're probably fearful when you are in a losing position, or hopeful when you're in a losing position, and fearful when you're in a winning position. Just switch it around. Be hopeful when you're in a winning position. Be fearful when you're in a losing position. Right? Remember the chart I showed you of the S&P? The overnight SPY trade, the buy at the close, sell in the morning. The chart's way up. The buy in the morning, sell in the afternoon. The chart's way down. You know, of course, I'm going to pick the one that has the better approach. The better approach psychologically is to be fearful when you're in a losing position. Be hopeful when you're in a winning position. Livermore? Oh, Jesse Livermore. Right. Is that where I read it, Marit? Thank you for clearing that up for me. Yeah, sometimes I've read so many books, I've listened to so many things, sometimes I just can't remember who said them. Dr. Long says slot machines pay 94.7% at best. The more you play, the more every $1 returns 94.7%. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. You know, but if you have a good trading approach, good back-tested approach, then you know you have some type of edge, hopefully, right? Okay. Well, listen, everybody. If you have any more comments, let me know. SPY is down after hours. VIX is up after hours. Utilities is up after hours. Boeing is down after hours, so I guess so far that looks like a good idea. But again, Boeing was a losing trade. I was fearful. I get out of it, right? XLU was a winning trade. Imagine if I got fearful of my profit and I just, I got to take it, right? I was hopeful this time. I was hopeful the whole way there. Dr. Long says, that's why I don't gamble. Very smart. I used to live in Las Vegas, Dr. Long. I knew a lot of people that gambled a lot. Boy, is that a bad deal. Andrea says, I like mini baccarat. I do too. I do too, Andrea. I do too. Especially the table where you get to handle the cards. Murat says, take care, Greg and all. Take care, Murat. Nice to see you, my friend. I really hope you have a nice evening. Say hello to the family for me and say hello to your doggy for me as well. All right. Well, listen, everybody. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate it. Always nice to see you. Hope you come back tomorrow. I do want to leave you off with a couple things. First of all, please go out and do something nice for somebody today. Just something, one little small gesture really might brighten their day. Hold the door open at the store, say hello, give somebody a smile. You know, it really just might change their day. It's the smallest little things that mean a lot in this world. And some people may be having a day that just one little kind gesture might turn it around for them. And it'd be nice to be responsible for that, right? So try to make that a goal every day, just to try to do something nice for everyone. And then secondly, on your way out, if you haven't hit the thumbs up button, I would appreciate that as well. That would be nice. If you enjoyed today's content. And then I guess thirdly, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate it if you did that as well. So let me take a look here real quick. So I don't quite think the man's solo. I think he's probably still in that. Being he slightly up on his SDOW trade. William Green, I don't know if he got of that or not. If you're out there, let me know. Joe Turner had a nice trade here today. Very good. Nobody had Walgreens, but we were waiting to see if this could regain the 30 and the 100. Hasn't done so far. And VIX. You know, for those of you that are still here, look at the VIX, right? This is the VIX index. See how we made this low? See how we made this low? All right, this should go inverse of the S&P. Let's look at the S&P. Up, right? The VIX is just a function of the price of puts getting expensive. So the price of the market is going up, but the VIX is just going sideways. So that's, you know, to me, that's a bearish divergence. That's showing that people are saying, yeah, okay, the market's going up, but yeah, I'm a little concerned about volatility. Right? If they weren't concerned about volatility coming in, if they weren't concerned about the market going down, the VIX index would be going down, but it is holding tight. So anyway, something to think about. Andrea says, you are so right about that. Thank you, Andrea. Yes, I think I am right about that. About doing something nice every day, right? You just never know. Somebody might be on the verge of, who knows what. They've lost faith in humanity, and you come along, maybe do one nice thing, they might go, okay, maybe there is some humanity in this world. So all right, everybody, thanks again for coming. Hope to see you tomorrow. Hope you have a nice rest of your day. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.